Hey, this is Courtney Barnett. You're listening to 88.5 WMNF Tampa.
The opinions presented on the Healthy Steps show are the evidence-based opinions of Dr. Fred Harvey, the callers, and his guests. These are not the opinions of the staff, the volunteers, or the board of WMNF. The information provided on the show is not intended to diagnose or treat any disease. There is no implied patient-physician relationship in these calls. The nature of the calls is educational and informational only.
Good morning to you. Yes, you, my esteemed listener and faithful Monday companion, my cherished friend who always keeps your dial tuned to WMNF Tampa, your resistance radio station from Tampa Bay to the Gulf of Mexico, and the only shrewd little FM radio station that Lloyd Dobler streams when he's not listening to Peter Gabriel on his boombox. And you can stream us as well at WMNF.org. Well, great day in the morning to you. Nothing could be finer than throwing open the window to the fresh air of another AMA Ask Me Anything Monday. So my invitation to you today is to call into the Healthy Steps radio show. This show depends on your medical questions, comments, and concerns. Just give us a call at 813-239-9663. Again, that number to call is 813-239-9663. You can also send an email to dj@wmnf.org. And if that weren't enough, you still can send us a text at 813-433-0885. Good morning to you, Dr. Harvey. I hope that you had a spectacular weekend and that you are now rested and fully prepared to guide us through another AMA Monday. Your loyal and sagacious listeners have waited a week for this moment, so let me turn the show over to you as I sulk out of here. What is the new lay of the land today, Doctor?
Well, thank you, Bill, for that intro. I know that's pre-recorded and Joe's on the boards. Thank you, Joe, for being there.
Hey, happy to be here.
And who's on phones today?
We have Sage.
Hey, Sage. Thank you for doing that. So, hey, I usually try, well, I don't usually try, but I don't like to base a show on politics, but today I have to. Amy Goodman ended up that show as something that's really a pet peeve for me. And I'm not going to talk about the false flag event that happened on Saturday. A lot of other people are talking about that. What I'm talking about is this murderous pedoprez who wants to murder more people. It's really sick. And I think that the relationship between a nation's health and the death penalty is something really important that needs to be debated. Because I look at the nation's health as something defined by public safety, something that this man, our president, has diminished significantly with his rhetoric. I think that the mental well-being of our nation has collapsed under his abject leadership and absent personality. I mean, there are a couple kinds of intelligence. We have mental intelligence, where we can think through problems, and we have emotional intelligence. And my guess is that sadly, our president has the emotional intelligence of a rock. And so he can't respond normally to human emotion, like many people. You know, Elon says that compassion and empathy is a detriment to the human condition. Only if you're actually a nasty, mean, fascist kind of greedy person, then it's an inhibition to your ability to steal from people and to put them down. But other than that, I think empathy and compassion are a foundational part of the human soul. And when we ignore it, we actually ignore part of our very important selves. And there's this really weird idea that punishing people by murdering them is a positive thing. You know, it says right there in the front of the Bible, kill everybody, right? Thou shalt kill all. Okay. And many other religious texts have that same attitude, kill all, right? I mean, that's just so obvious. And so the issue that I have with people wanting to do death penalty, like little Ronnie the racist here in Florida, Ronnie the fascist, he wants to kill people. I don't know why. It's a weird thing. Why do these people want to murder other people. Because what we have is extensive research from places like the Death Penalty Information Center. And it doesn't deter murder. It doesn't deter any kind of capital offenses. It doesn't deter crime. The death penalty is not a deterrent. So why do we do it? Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I've heard so many people say in the past, so I'm not the Lord. So is vengeance mine? I don't think so. So is murder of human beings because they did something you don't agree with just a murder? I mean, it seems to be, because it has no other purpose. So murder for murder's sake is really bizarre. And these weird people that want more murder of people that committed crime actually say that murder rates are going up, but they've gone down. They've been steadily decreasing in the United States. And when you compare this country, which is supposedly the shining light on the hill, to other advanced Western nations, they don't have a death penalty. They've abolished it because it doesn't work. It's inhumane and it's stupid, flat out. And then when we go to look at the other part of the story, despite the fact that it doesn't work, people still want it. How about the fact that it actually is incompatible with health ethics? You know, any medical professionals involved with doing lethal injections are really weird people. Because the goal is preserving life, not ending it. And ending a life because they did something somebody disagrees with is a really weird thing. I can understand euthanasia for somebody who's suffering severely and there's no end to the suffering. No matter what pain pill or whatever you try, it's not working. They deserve an option for getting out. But, you know, that's a really, really rare, you know, significantly specific incidents. But other than that, I mean, think about the people that are often getting the death penalty. It's disproportionately people of low socioeconomic status, racial minorities, people with mental health issues. And that's another whole picture that we need to talk about, because people going to jail for mental health issues is sick. That's punitive weirdness. And we should be actually wrapping love around those people and helping them heal. But no, we consider it a crime and we don't take mental illness into it. So 50% of the people on death row have significant mental illness. Do they deserve to be killed if they don't understand why they're being killed? Do they deserve to be killed at all? And the trauma on the families, you know, state-sanctioned violence is hideous. And it's bad to both the families of the victim and the perpetrator. You know, the victim family waiting for someone to get murdered for their family member's murder can take decades and repeat hearings that continue to work on the psyche of these poor individuals and cause more harm than any good could ever come out of it. Also, high financial costs. These things are lengthy. They have specialized defense, death row upkeep, diverting funds to take care of this rather than actually helping eliminate crime. Working on community policing, we spend a lot of money on relitigating death penalties. Lots of appeals happen. It's a waste. It should never occur. What's really nice is, though, that even in places like Texas, juries are choosing life sentences instead of the death penalty because they realize most people don't support the death penalty. It is really low, and what's crazy is it's still at about 50%. And that's scary, that many Americans think it's appropriate to murder someone when right in the front of the book that most of the worship says, thou shalt not kill. And they can justify it with all kinds of rationalization, but it still says thou shalt not kill. So when you do it, you're actually violating a prime law of nature. And so I'm sick of hearing about the death penalty. I'm sick of hearing people get murdered by the state. And I really would like to have a public debate about this and end it. I think that it needs to stop. It's disgusting. It's grotesque. It's torture for the entire population and really the bottom line is a healthy, safe, and just nation is not bolstered by the death penalty, but rather it is harmed by its economic, social, and moral ethical costs. Stop the death penalty. End it. End it today. Unfortunately, we have a psychopath in the White House that loves murder. And so we're going to continue on with this madness until somebody stands up and gets a debate going in government and stops this madness. There's so many other things we need to address before we get to this, though, that we're distracted by so many things. You know, if they just release all of the Epstein files, we wouldn't have a war in Iran, right? The Persian event would be completely nullified if that was all released. So I think there'd be some arrests. Praise the Lord for arrests. When are they coming? So, hey, I just wanted to let you know I'm ready to debate any kind of topic you have to do and answer your questions about your health concerns. This is Fred Harvey. I'm on the Healthy Steps radio show, and you can contact me here at 813-239-9663. You can email dj@wmnf.org. I prefer that you don't send text because if I don't get to it, I can't answer it later. And I will answer most of the emails after the show if I don't get to them all. But the number, if you want to text, is 813-433-0885. The main number, though, 813-239-9663, gets me on the phone, and I think we already have some callers.
Yes, we have Gene here on line 1.
Good morning.
Hi, Gene.
How are you?
Excellent. How are you today?
A little scared. I talked to you last week, OAB, 14 UTIs in the last 2 years. Well, I'm now on 15th UTI. Went through 2 different antibiotics, pills over the course of 12 days. Didn't resolve it. The new urine culture now shows E. coli ESBL producer. And then they did subsequent labs of the same specimen, and 3 negative levels came across. And so I am now on day 4 of a 7-day IV antibiotics. I'm seeing the doctor later this week to check the status and to learn about this bacteria, but what I'm reading on the internet is freaking me out. I wanted to know what you know about this and what's your opinion about listening to AI for your health.
Well, a caller last week suggested that everybody go to Grok and get their diagnosis from Grok, and I suggested that maybe they should ask a health professional to assist them with the correct questions to ask Grok, or avoid Grok entirely because of who owns it, and use one of the other better services. But in the meantime, yeah, you can learn a lot about a bacteria like that online. But sometimes it's going to be scary because it doesn't put it in the context of where you are. And one of the questions I would ask you is, what's your current probiotic?
You mean, what am I taking?
Yeah.
Oh, I take Gyrodopoulos, which I think might be pre and po both of them. And then this doctor's office had me start taking 1 shot glass of kefir every day. And I've been on that just about a week. So prior to that, I really didn't do a pre at all. You know, and something for you told me about vagina probiotics last week.
So which Gyrodopoulos do you use? There's a bunch of different ones that have different amounts in.
If you hold 1 second, I'm going to run to the other end of the house. Having said that, though, which AIs do you like for medical?
I use Claude for a lot of things, but you just have to realize that it is not going to put everything in context because it doesn't have all the information, and it's not a healthcare professional.
And then I always say using Mayo Clinic and Cleveland Clinic so that you're not just getting any Joe wrote out there. Yeah,
they're very helpful for standard medical approaches and information. And then you could go to the Institute for Functional Medicine. They have a lot of information about how to look at human health in a different way. and applying it in different forms. And so, which one do you have, by the way?
So so Gyrodactylus EPS.
Uh-huh.
Helps.
Is it 10 billion?
CFU. 10 billion.
Okay, let's see what's actually in it. Where are the strains?
I've been taking this for years.
There we go.
So every morning with the water.
Yeah, Jarrow's actually a pretty good company, and they have, a pretty good blend there. So that's not a bad one to continue taking. You might want to consider adding a nutritional yeast since you're on so many antibiotics. Saccharomyces boulardii is known in a brand name as Florastor and also as Saccharodf. They are it helps inhibit the growth of other bad bacteria like C. difficile from chronic antibiotic use, and also it inhibits candida growth. And so you get some help in a couple of ways there. But as far as the E. coli is concerned, I'm not sure. Are your doctors using the genetic test at this point or just culturing?
They sent the urine over to Sarasota Memorial. It says urine culture at the top of the lab result.
Okay. I have some information that, some urologists are using more detailed bacterial analyses than just a culture in people that have recurrent and continuous problems with this. Are you seeing a urologist or a primary care doctor?
Right now, this is being treated by infectious disease people.
Okay. And before the infectious disease doctor?
Urogynecologist, but he really hasn't been drilling down. Unfortunately, all of my UTIs, I go to urgent care, and nobody's really seen the history.
Oh, sounds like it's time for you to visit a urologist, maybe even a specialist urologist like at USF, and actually get some deeper work done here, because you can't keep going on with 15 infections now this year.
I have a virtual call with Cleveland Clinic next week, and I'm actually able to go there in the next month. And I'm hoping that they will want to do that with me.
Wonderful. Yes, I would keep pursuing this, because you've got something that's complex, and it deserves a specialist further intervention.
Can you talk me off the cliff?
Yeah, you're on an IV antibiotic that's treating the bug that you've got. You've got your call ready for the specialist center, and you're probably going to go there. So I think that you've got things lined up that are keeping it controlled, and then you need to go to the next level. I think you're going to be okay till you get to the next level. You've got treatment for what you've got.
Yep. Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, once again, appreciate your help.
Glad to. Have a great day and good luck with that. Let us know if you make it up to the Cleveland Clinic.
Sure, will do. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Next, we got Wendy from Lakeland here.
Hello, Wendy.
Good morning.
What's going on with you, dear?
I have seizures, and I just wondered if you have any input that could be helpful to me.
Well, how old are you?
69.
And these seizures just began?
Nope, I've been having them for 6 years now.
And what occurred 6 years ago that caused you to get seizures?
I think maybe the COVID. I'm not sure, but I'd always been healthy, and then I got a bad case of bronchitis, flu, and I got the first one then. And from then on, I just have random, I don't know when they're going to happen, just...
Yeah. So that sounds like you have something going on in your brain. I'm sure that they've done MRIs and CT scans and everything to see if you have some kind of a tumor or something in there, right?
Right.
And you don't.
Shows up.
Yeah. So this is metabolic, and I think have you seen a functional neurologist or a functional medicine doctor?
Yep.
Oh, good. So what did the functional medicine was it neurologist?
The neurologist has me taking anti-seizure medicine. I've been through a whole list of all kinds of them, and
And that neurologist is a functional medicine neurologist or just a neurologist?
I'm not sure I know the difference.
Oh, well, the difference is the functional medicine doctor actually looks at you and looks for root cause, and the neurologist looks for a diagnosis and gives you a pill. So did you go to somebody who looked for a diagnosis and gave you a pill, or did you go to somebody who looked deep to find out why you had the diagnosis?
I thought that he was going to be looking deep, but I'm not sure that he ever did that,
Right. Did he do any metabolic testing on you, looking at, say, your omega-3 levels, your neurotransmitter levels, your inflammatory conditions?
No, I don't think so. I've had those kind of tests at my primary care, like my blood work and that kind of stuff, but he's never really looked at any of that. He just
sad.
Looks at me and then gives me a different pill.
He doesn't sound very interested in what he's doing. I would suggest that you go to a website,
Wait a minute, let me get my pen.
IFM, Institute for Functional Medicine.org.
Okay, and what will I do there? Just look.
Go to the doctor finder and find somebody within driving distance of you.
Okay.
And you'll find a functional medicine practitioner there. You probably want to look for, if you can, near you, a neurologist. I'm not sure what you're going to find, but if you just find general functional medicine doctors nearby, they can start you on the path. There's very few functional neurologists. I think there's about 4 of them in the entire country.
Gee.
Yeah. And so if you start with a functional medicine doctor and start looking for the root cause of your seizures, you may find something really fascinating that can help to break the cycle.
Okay. That sounds interesting.
Yes.
Nobody, the doctor I have doesn't even look into it, just another new pill, which I'm concerned about. The medicine, I feel like it's making me sick and not sure of how long should I be taking those kind of drugs?
Well, if you have seizures and you want to prevent seizures and they don't have a cause or a resolution to it, you'll need to take those ongoing for the rest of your life usually. But yes, those medications do have adverse consequences and they can make you feel sick. So it's totally worth it to find out if you have an imbalance that can be treated.
Okay. Well, that's more than I'm getting from the neurologist doctor, so I appreciate the help for where I should look next.
Yeah, you're very welcome. My former colleagues, I was trained in that kind of medicine too, and our whole goal was to play a game called Name It, Blame It, Tame It. We would name the disease, attach a diagnosis code to it, and then tame it with surgery or radiation or pills. And that's basically the equation. Name it, blame it, tame it. That disease caused all your problems. Here's the pill that causes the end of that disease. You'll be fabulous, is the rather delusional view of reality in that paradigm. So good luck. Have at it and find yourself a good functional medicine doctor to chat with this about.
That sounds great. I appreciate the I'm glad to help, dear. Words right now.
That's okay.
Info, Dr. Harvey. Yeah. So
you're very welcome.
That's helpful. All right. Well, have a good day today. Thanks.
You too. Hey, I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that you can keep calling me here. This is the Healthy Steps Radio Show. Phone number is 813-239-9663, and email is dj@wmnf.org. I think we have another caller.
Yes, we have Dan from St. Pete.
Excellent. Dan? How you doing?
Good morning. Doing good, Doc. I liked your opening monologue. You hit on some key issues there. Two questions, like, what's it cost to keep somebody incarcerated for 40 years, as opposed to, you were saying how much money it costs to, go through all the trials, but what's the cost to keep them?
Well, that's another good question. And honestly, I'm not a fan of the life sentence either, because I think most life sentences occur for people that have emotional and mental illness. And those people don't deserve to be in a prison. They deserve to be in a mental health hospital cared for because they're sick people. And I think the life sentence is a really weird thing that's too costly, and it's based in some weird Judeo-Christian punishment idea. I think that we need to love on people that have made mistakes and help them learn to be better people rather than punishing them with a stick and bad food and abuse in a prison where they get access to drugs and weird events and murder. Like I don't get why we do this thing, because again, there's absolutely zero evidence that incarceration helps anyone.
Okay, I follow the life sentence thing. And the next thing is, you talk about Judeo-Christian, you talk about the Persian thing and the Epstein thing, and you quote, I guess, the Bible or something. But how much do you think all this crap is based on people's religious beliefs to control people, or the people that don't believe in evolution, all the hullabaloo? I mean, come on. What do you say?
I think there is a lot of bizarre belief system associated with many things, including the religions, that result in very strange approaches to dealing with the human condition. I don't see how punishment has ever actually been proven anywhere, anytime, to improve the outcome when it comes to crime. It's a really poverty mentality.
Okay, but I mean, where does the belief in God give the power to people to do all these things? I mean,
well, I don't think it's the belief in God. I think it's the belief in stupid words where they talk about smiting people and stoning people to death and cutting their hands off because they stole. And there's stories. I mean, these are human stories that got recorded, and unfortunately some of them got recorded into a religious text here and there, and people believe this as truth, and so they get really all screwed up and destroy their own personal ethics based on what's been written in a book that made no sense.
There you go. What if natural selection and God was really maybe a construct? I mean, how would we view war?
Well, God is a construct. God is a construct of the mind of man. It is our consciousness that created the concept God. Now, God may have created the universe, but we created the concept God. So which came first, the chicken or the egg? Obviously, the universe was here before we got here, so I don't think it was our consciousness that created the universe. I think that was a much greater consciousness of which we are a part. But when we try to use naming rights to control what God is, which is what religious books happen to be, it's really which name are we going to follow the man-produced laws that come with that God's name?
Yeah, well,
it gets really confusing, doesn't it? Because we start doing morality based on religion, and morality based on religion is absolutely useless, because you can be morally getting rid of an infidel from another religion when it's completely unethical to do so.
Right. But how old is the universe? How old is the Earth? I mean, how long? How far does this go back? I mean, Christ is on.
Well, we have some pretty good evidence that the universe is about 14 billion years old, and the Earth is about 4.5 billion years old, and the sun's about 5 billion years old. It took 500 million years for the Earth to form out of the sun's newly formed disk.
So, I mean, the people that think that Christ is going to come back again, I mean, I don't understand things, Doctor.
Well, no, there's a lot of confusion about things because men wrote things down, and men believe a lot of things that men wrote down even without any kind of evidence. And so I have a friend that believes there were dinosaurs on Noah's Ark that didn't exist. So it's hard to talk with people who stick with belief systems that have no evidence. I mean, if I have belief systems, they're usually based in scientific evidence. And then I don't call it a belief system, I call it an understanding of the universe.
Yeah, there you go.
And so I think that our minds have grown significantly since the Bible was written, and we have so much more information that we can understand the universe in a different way than the Torah, the Bible, and the Quran were actually describing it. Because it was described by small minds for small minds. We have much bigger minds now. So much more information is involved that we can actually understand the mechanics of what the Creator created. And that's why our Creator doesn't intervene. He created something so fabulous that it never needs intervention. It just runs on its own.
And it could have happened 14 billion years ago.
It did, actually, and that's the good thing. Hey, have a great day, Dan. I'll talk to you again sometime soon, I hope.
All right. Thanks, Steve. Thank you, Doctor.
All right. Next, we got Giselle from Ohio.
Hello, Giselle.
Yes. I wanted to find out what things can be done for a low functioning thyroid. Is that like some kind of genetic condition, or can certain foods be eaten to get the thyroid to function in a normal at a normal level?
Those are really good questions. So, how old are you?
I am 52.
And how long have you had a question of thyroid function?
For probably about I'd say maybe 5-6 years.
And you're not on medication?
No, I'm not. I was at one point put on medication, and it caused a lack of sleep, where I could not sleep at all.
Okay.
So I was told I had to fire that doctor. That was a horrible experience. But I have the current doctor that I have told me that it was probably because the dosage was too high, and horrible things happen if you're not on thyroid medication and you have a low functioning thyroid.
So can I ask what your TSH level is?
TSH level. I think my TSH level, let me see. Got the printout here. TSH. Got a printout here. Oh, here it is. TSH 6.44.
Okay, that's just outside the reference range. Normally it's around 2 to 5. And when the TSH is slightly above reference range, it can mean a bunch of things. One, you could be protein malnourished. The thyroid needs protein, specifically the amino acid tyrosine that comes from the protein, to make thyroid hormone. If you don't get enough, you are going to have a sluggish thyroid. Iodine is critical as well. So if you don't have enough iodine on board, then your thyroid will run slow. Iodine in the form of iodized salt, seaweed snacks, or an iodine tablet if you feel like doing it. But iodine in those small amounts are usually enough to get your thyroid working. So do you use iodized salt?
I do, but because in the past I struggled with high blood pressure, I try to avoid salt as much as possible.
Okay. And how about seaweed snacks?
I don't eat seaweed snacks.
And do you take any iodine?
No, I do have iodized salt in my cabinet, but I
you don't use it.
Very little and sometimes none, because there's some kind of connection with high sodium and high blood pressure.
There is, but you need some sodium to run the body, so you might want to add some of that. In the meantime, you might want to add some seaweed snacks, little crunchy, crispy treats. And the other thing is, do you get 70 to 100 grams of protein in your diet a day?
That's a good question. I do eat those tuna packets. I know those are high in protein.
Do you eat protein at every meal?
Yes. I always have meat, and I know protein comes from meat. So so you
have some meat at breakfast too?
No. I eat.
So what protein do you have at breakfast?
I don't think I have any protein.
So my guess is if you're not having protein at breakfast, you're not getting enough protein in a day. I would get online and go to mycaloriecounter.com or something like that and count your macros. See how many grams of protein you're getting. You need 70 to 100 to maintain thyroid health. So if you're not getting that, that could be why you're running sluggish. If you're not getting enough iodine, that could be it too. Those two critical nutrients, I would add first and then see what your numbers do and go from there.
So you said the body needs 70 to 100 protein a day, you said?
Yes.
What about iodine? How much body does...
you could probably get by with 100 micrograms a day as long as you get that every day.
Okay. So I probably need more protein.
More than likely. Most people tend to when they're running low thyroid.
And, I was told awful things can happen if your thyroid is not functioning at normal levels. So my question is, I'm supposed to get retested with blood work to see where my thyroid is at?
Yes.
So my question is, I'm going to try to increase the protein that I eat. Well, I'm not eating any protein for breakfast, so I will try to incorporate that. But what number should my TSH be at to be considered in the normal range?
As I said before, around 2 to 5. I shoot for 2 in patients that need hormone supplementation. And even if they don't, if we can get the right protein, the right iodine, the right nutrients otherwise, it will often improve. So the key is don't get checked for 6 weeks or 2 months until you get the protein and the iodine on board. All right?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Best wishes with that. And let me just remind people, I think we have enough callers coming in, but this is WMNF, and the number is 813-239-9663. I am Dr. Fred Harvey, and you can talk to me or email me, dj@wmnf.org. I think we have, who is it next?
We got,
John?
John from Parrish.
Wonderful.
Good morning.
Hi there.
Yeah, I'm so glad I got to call you. I'm a seasonal resident. We're leaving tomorrow, so yay for me.
Yay!
I have 2 doctors that I trust implicitly. One of them is he's got his own call-in show. To be honest with you, it's called Pastor on Your Health up in Wisconsin, and I have my family doc, and they have differing opinions as to whether I should be on statins. So I'm calling in for a third opinion. I am barely borderline high.
So give me the rest of the story. What's your age?
Oh, I'm sorry. 72.
72. Do you have any other health problems?
No, I'm really healthy otherwise.
And never had any history of coronary artery disease?
Correct. Never.
Okay, so what's your cholesterol level?
I don't, the number, it's whatever the bottom barely borderline is for the bad cholesterol.
I want to know what your overall total cholesterol number is. 200, 250, 300, 350?
I think it's around 200.
Okay, that's not bad. And then your LDL cholesterol?
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but again, it was borderline for what they don't like, and my HDL.
So did that mean it was 100, 130, or 160?
Probably closer to 100. They were all on the low end of what the.
Okay, and how about the HDL?
The HDL was again at the low range of what they like to see.
So how much aerobic activity are you doing a day?
I get about. I'm a cyclist. I get about 1,000 miles a month on my bike, so I'm pretty busy that way. And my weight is good, et cetera, et cetera.
How about resistance training?
I lift weights 3 times a week.
Okay, good. And how about
not Hulkamania?
Yeah. Do you eat oats?
No, not really. We try to eat really healthy.
Well, oats are one of the healthiest things you could possibly eat.
What's that?
Oats are one of the healthiest things you could possibly eat.
Yeah, I have that. I have fruits and vegetables every day.
You say you do eat oats?
No. At home I have fruits and vegetables and all kinds of healthy stuff to eat. We don't eat any processed meats. We don't go to restaurants that have junk food or anything like that, and we very, very rarely go out to eat unless we're traveling and don't have any choice.
So what kind of soluble fiber are you getting? Do you eat flaxseed, chia seed, oatmeal, squash, sweet potatoes?
I make my own muesli, which is oats, flaxseed, sesame seed, wheat bran, oat bran, and raisins. And I have that every single morning. Have that every morning with a banana. And then for lunch, I have basically whole fruits and vegetables, and then I have, usually broccoli that I have for a vegetable. And I will have some kind of beans, some kind of legumes every day. And,
sounds like you're doing really well, John. Very healthy eating.
Well, right.
So
my question
honestly,
is that the one doc who is he's a DO, and he says, without any risk factors, and the way I'm healthy in that, he said he doesn't see a need to go on it. The other doc, however, said that there's some anti-inflammatory benefits.
What's your C-reactive protein level?
I don't even know what that is.
Well, your C-reactive protein is an inflammatory indicator associated with cardiovascular event. And if somebody's concerned about your cholesterol and they haven't checked your C-reactive protein, it's time to find a new doctor who actually looks at the whole picture. Because if you're looking at cholesterol and you're not looking at vascular inflammation and you're warning somebody they need to treat their cholesterol without looking at vascular inflammation, you're kind of missing the point of using a statin. I mean, statins reduce vascular inflammation. If you don't know what the baseline level is, what's the point?
Okay.
So Quest Labs has a vascular inflammation panel called the Cleveland Heart Labs panel. It includes a C-reactive protein and several other parameters that can tell you whether or not you have rancid cholesterol, rancid fats, irritated arteries, rancid plaque, inflamed plaque. It's really an amazing test that more doctors should be aware of. Quest Cleveland Heart Labs inflammatory panel.
Okay.
And that would be a great way to add another layer of information for you to make a decision about whether you're ever going to use a statin.
Okay. Well, I'm using them right now just because it's one of these. I guess it can't hurt anything, but it is.
Oh well, that's a fallacy. Every intervention has a risk-benefit profile. It can hurt things, and so I think, if you want to know about it, I'd say you need to stop the statin to actually assess your system to see whether or not you have need. But if you don't want to stop it, that's okay too. I think you should discuss this with your doctors and say, okay, maybe we could look deeper before I actually continue on this therapy. Because it sounds like your levels weren't bad enough to treat.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So best wishes with that, John.
Again.
Safe travels north. Safe travels north.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. We have Johnny from Brooklyn.
Hello, Johnny.
Hey, good morning. I'm part of the WMNF Circle of Resistance here in Brooklyn, supporting your show, the Surleys, and True Talk. And I wanted to do a call out to the Midpoint people who had a program on October 15th talking to me about, talking to all of us about how to navigate through Medicare. I'm still covered by a plan, and they told me I can do they answered my questions, and I'm just so happy with WMNF. I also
that's really an important topic. Navigating Medicare. I just signed up myself. It starts May 1.
Traditional, right? Or what did you do?
Oh, I went traditional with a supplemental. I wasn't about to sign my rights away to an insurance behemoth intent on ripping me off.
I wanted to make sure I was hearing correctly. So good. We're confirming.
I know there are people that really can't afford the high premiums they end up with, and they need to go on the disadvantaged plans. I do get that, but our government could actually be working differently than working with the darn insurance companies and giving them our tax dollars. I think there's a better arrangement.
Well, I had a couple of notes here for you.
What you got?
One, thanks. I've been in as I mentioned previously, it's now been 1 year. I'm on a Mount Sinai sleep apnea clinical trial, so I didn't have to pay for any of they want MRIs to see how that's impacting brain health and perhaps links to brain decline. But that's been good for me because I'm no longer sleepy in the afternoons. I'm just much better.
And how are they treating it?
What's that?
How are they treating it?
Oh, with a CPAP.
Oh, CPAP. Okay.
Yeah,
I was thinking maybe it was another GLP-1 trial.
Well, the dental, not an oral. That wasn't ready. They said, but they were a center of excellence on the panel reviewing things about that. But they said the dental implants was too severe, so that wouldn't work. But I was fitted. I wanted to say that's helped my irregular heartbeat.
Yeah,
and
that's great.
Also, since I've been tracking every night's sleep, I decided to track alcohol. And because I had a whole bunch of blood tests with my doctor, and I asked him to include, could you put the Genova, could you put the Cleveland Heart Labs, could you put the NutriVal, the Omega tests and all that? And he did.
Awesome.
And that's good. And I'm with, I like my primary care. We're going to go there. I'm going to go try to play back a couple weeks ago about statins. I noticed you were just talking again about statins because I've been avoiding statins from previous bad experience. So maybe 15 years ago, I got pains and things, and I just said, I'll handle it with diet, but I think I can't. So, but I didn't see an index. I think it's a few weeks ago you had a good discussion about statins, and also today I'll play that back. My question is, because of my AFib, the doctor suggested I get a home blood pressure test. Normally I'm low. I give blood often. So, well, not often. They're as often as they allow you to. And so I get periodic for years. I've had, normal blood pressure, or actually a little bit low, and that was good. But he asked me to get a home machine. And with the AFib, I can test, 3 minutes apart, and I'll get radically different results. So the atrial fibrillation
comes and goes, and as you continue treating your sleep apnea, you may find that the AFib resolves because sleep apnea causes atrial fibrillation.
Well, I think alcohol does too. So
it does.
In preparation for the test, I wanted to know how much alcohol I'd had for the 90-day for the A1C. They said that's a 90-day look to get a snapshot of your blood sugar. And so I was 50% alcohol-free in that period. I'm now 80% alcohol-free, but I do enjoy a high lie from time to time or some other.
Have you noticed that your on your blood pressure monitor, your heart rhythm is less controlled when you've had the alcohol?
I haven't. I'm gonna look at that. I've been pretty much alcohol-free when I've been doing my tests. So, it's like the night before. In fact, I haven't had a drink, I don't know, and it doesn't bother me. It's something that I've had since college. I've been pretty much having alcohol almost every day. So it's nice. I don't even think about it anymore. But I'll have some,
Yeah, pay attention next time. See if it does cause arrhythmia. And thanks for calling, Johnny, and thanks for being in the resistance.
Thank you, Dr. Harvey.
All right, and next we got Ray from Tampa.
Hello, Ray.
Hello, how are you?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for asking.
What do you have for us today, Ray?
Okay. I am a 74-year-old female with lupus, SLE, and as a result of that, I have stage 3 kidney disease. And my question is, how do I reduce the protein in my urine?
By reducing the inflammation in your vascular system. And so, are you following a autoimmune protocol diet where you're avoiding certain foods to keep your immune system calmer?
No, I am not.
Okay. I would suggest you look up the WAHLS diet, WAHLS. And you can find a food pyramid that shows you the types of foods and how much to eat for controlling lupus.
Okay, my lupus has been controlled by...
Yes, but you still have protein in your urine, and so I'm suggesting that you go on an autoimmune protocol diet to control the protein in your urine, which is resulting from your lupus, which appears to be controlled, but apparently isn't because you have protein leaking in your urine.
You're right. Okay, you said the WAHLS.
Dr. Terry Walls. Yeah, Dr. Terry Walls made this up. You go online, search for the Walls diet. You'll find a pyramid, download that, and follow that. It's really a plant-based diet. 3 cups of leafy greens, 3 cups of onions, brassicas, and mushrooms, and 3 cups of colored fruits and vegetables, followed by an average of about maybe 10 to 15 ounces of lean protein. And that's the basis of your whole diet. No dairy, no grain, no eggs.
Okay. How about fruit?
Fruit is definitely on there. I said, you want to get 3 cups of colored fruits and vegetables, 3 cups of leafy vegetables, and 3 cups of the brassica, onion, and mushroom family, which are sulfur vegetables.
Okay.
Very good. I think
I will try that.
I'd like you to do that. Let us know if it works, and have an excellent week. I'm going to be signing off here shortly. So thanks, and have a good day. I don't think I have time to actually talk to Stan because we're down to the last couple of seconds here. I just want to thank everybody for engaging today. We had some really great conversations. I appreciate you, Joe, for running the boards, and thank you, Sage, for fielding all of these phone calls. Next week, I'll be back for another Ask Me Anything show, and I'm looking forward to talking with more of you folks in the WMNF resistance. Have a great week. See you next week.
And thank you, Dr. Harvey, for another informative and rewarding Healthy Steps radio show. And thanks to all of our participants, listeners, and supporters. You make this show exemplary. You have been listening to the Healthy Steps radio show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa. Waiting for you like a dear friend is 5 minutes of NPR headline news, and then get ready for the Sustainable Living Show, hosted today by Annie Ellis. So, until next Monday at 10 a.m., thank you for supporting and listening to the Healthy Steps radio show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa, your community conscious radio station. Stay safe, stay thoughtful, and know that you are loved.